Differences and similarities. Looking at differences and similarities in the Pakistani context, we come to know that there are so many different ways of living and so many different ways of accepting the society norms in different places in Pakistan. Also, it has been noticed that the acceptance level in most of the parts is very low. But in order to recognize our weaknesses and our strengths, we need to work on these differences and similarities. Sharing, recognizing, and appreciating. By recognizing, I mean that this is something, it is there, and we need to accept it. We need to recognize this, that this difference or similarity is in the community or is in the society and it exists. We cannot escape from that fact or reality. Sharing, recognizing, appreciating differences and similarities between cultures, traditions, and communities. So there is a lot to do. We have to share traditions and culture. We have to recognize these are the differences. We need to understand that. We need to appreciate whatever are the differences or the similarities between cultures. And also, we need to accept all this with an open mind and an open heart. It makes it easy to integrate and communicate with people coming from diverse communities. Even in one community, there can be differences in attitudes of people. So the community needs to recognize that and face it and also appreciate it, because there will be some similarities as well, which would be the same as ours. So we cannot look down upon another community or another group just because they have some differences. We should be looking at those differences in an appreciating manner. We should be researching about it. What are the differences for? Why are these people different? How this difference is being useful for them? And we may find out that there are things which people are doing in a different manner and they are benefiting from it. And as a whole, they are making mankind happy. They are bringing peace to it and they are bringing happiness to the community. So there is no harm in it that we appreciate that. It is not compulsory that we take over these differences and adopt those. It is not compulsory. If we want to adopt those, we can. But by appreciating somebody's culture or by appreciating and recognizing the diversity around us does not mean that it is a compulsion for us to take it as ours. We should accept it, but we are not forced to take it as our guise. We can just stay as we are, but accepting or appreciating does not force us to be like that. If we have an open mind to appreciate and to accept, that means we are open to diversity. We are open to differences in the society, and we have a reason to accept that because we have found out that there are good things in that and they are being useful for mankind, and therefore they have been adopted. At the same time, if there are any similarities, we do not need to enforce the similarities to be ours only. We do not need to enforce that these similarities have come from our origin. Maybe the other group had the similarities being practiced long time ago as well. Because sometimes there are disputes and conflicts arising from the fact that the groups think that this particular tradition is just there and they were the ones who started it. Although they do not know who began this tradition or who owns this tradition, they just want to enforce that it is their tradition and somebody else has copied it.